is the Wrestlebread Podcast, bringing you the latest news, recaps, and analysis of AEW and WWE. Get the unique perspective from a wrestling fan of over 25 years. Here's your host, Jaydee.
What's going on, guys? This is Jaydee, and this is episode 149 of the Wrestlebread Podcast. So, there's a lot of sports going on this week. If you are a sports fan, this is a fun week for you. We got the NFL draft this week. Go Dallas. Dallas is drafting at number 24. We also have baseball. Go Phillies, who is going against, I think it's the Rockies tonight. And then we have, of course, NBA basketball. I'm hoping that the Sixers pull it off in Game 5 tonight in Philly. I wanted to go, but I didn't feel like it. Then we also have wrestling this week. We have, Raw tonight with the celebration of Randy Orton. Along also the rumor that Mustafa, there may be some returns tonight. One of them being Mustafa Ali and possibly Asuka returning tonight. And Becky Lynch is returning tonight as well. I forgot what's supposed to happen on SmackDown. I don't think they announced anything yet. And then AEW is coming to Philly this week. Your girl, the way my checking account and savings account is hooked up, this time around, so the first time AEW came to Philly, tickets were really good. I was able, if you saw on Twitter where my seat was pretty much, I was right there at the floor by the entrance. Really good seats, and they were maybe $70 or so, something like that. Really good seats. This time around, it seems like everybody and their mama found out, oh shit, AEW is putting on some good shows. And so now everybody and their mama have, brought tickets and have really bumped up the price on StubHub. I don't do nosebleed seats. Unless it's WrestleMania or something like that. Not even. But I really don't do nosebleed seats because I feel as though I can watch it at home, really. Unless it's a pay-per-view event or something like that. I used to do nosebleed seats, but now I really don't feel like doing nosebleed seats because I could just watch this at home. Plus, the way that AEW sets up their shows, they film a little bit of a Dark or Elevation beforehand. Then there's Dynamite, and then it's Rampage, and then you're out at 12 o'clock midnight. So if I'm going to be there, I'm going to want to have some good ass seats. I was trying to shoot my shot to be a part of the baddie section so I can get some free tickets. I think it's free. I'm hoping it's free tickets and a good seat. But it is what it is. If I don't get it, I don't get it. But yeah, I don't know. It's still up in the air. I'm still keeping an eye on the tickets. Cause the day of prices go really, really low because people start getting desperate to sell their tickets. So we'll see what happens. But it's just the fact I don't know if I feel like having to leave out at 11 o'clock midnight from there, because they're gonna put some really good match on Rampage that you kind of want to stay for. Last time they were there, it was CM Punk, and I was like, oh yeah, I want to really see. I think it was CM Punk that was on Rampage. But yeah, it depends on what they advertise, whether or not I'll leave right after Dynamite or leave after Rampage. That's enough talk, though. I feel like Mark Henry. I felt like I was about to say it's time for the main. That's enough talk. It's time for the main event. But no. Let's get into some news and rumors. There's been a lot of news and a lot of rumors. So starting off, according to Fightful Select, apparently there's been some discussion with WWE to bring back FTR when their AEW contract is up. Now, FTR had mentioned that they are loyal to AEW. They're not going to negotiate anything while they're under contract with AEW. But they said that money really isn't the issue, that they want to go where the love of pro wrestling leads them. And you may say, well, WWE is sports entertainment, not pro wrestling. But, I can't sit here and say, oh, they're not going to go back. Because I said the same thing about Cody Rhodes. That, the whole never say never. I felt that way with Bret Hart. Never say never. He's never going back to WWE, Bret screw Bret type of situation. And look what happened. The Ultimate Warrior came back. Hell, Scott Steiner came back and they put a ring on it. So, I never say never. All I hope for is that wherever they go, they are being used properly. They are not really used properly. They are happy where they're at. Because some people are fine with catering, surprisingly. But they are happy wherever they are. They are successful. They're paid right. And because, their paycheck doesn't really affect me. I would love to, for my entertainment, see them, wrestle really good matches and stuff like that. But in the end, it's their life, their contract, their money, their body, their time that they're, using to entertain us sitting at home. So I'm hoping wherever they go that they are happy. Also, Darius Martin, apparently, another thing that was talked about on Fightful, that he had suffered an injury, and it's not, apparently he came on Twitter and said it's not wrestling related, but it seems like he's been injured again and he may be out for a certain period of time, which sucks for him, because Dante Martin really got a lot of time to shine while in Darius Martin's absence. And then once Darius was able to come back, it was a lot of promise with Top Flight, but it seems like we're kind of back to square one with Darius being out again. There was a reunion of the Wyatt family. Braun Strowman had posted a picture on Twitter of him, Bray Wyatt, and Rowan as well. Of course, with Brody Lee gone, they referred to themselves as the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, and they was, put up the four fingers. Pretty sad that, we got the reunion, but of course, with Brody Lee gone, that, it won't ever really be complete. So coming into some WWE rumors and stuff. So apparently LA Knight was on a dark segment after SmackDown again. First of all, I watched the video of him bringing out Mace, and I cracked up. First of all, I didn't see the actual video. This one I saw there was a fan video I watched. Now LA Knight is accompanied by Mansoor, and I thought this was, he's doing a model management, okay. But yeah, Mansoor, who we haven't seen for a very long time, who I was shocked that they didn't use for the Saudi show when the last time they were there. He is now with LA Knight. So I'm happy that he's being used at least. And so now they introduced Mace, who is called Mace the Face or something like that. But when I had watched the video of when he was first introduced and he came out with the Nikes, with the fashionable glasses and stuff, and then he took off the glasses, I guess, to give his model face, and it reminded me straight of Zoolander. If you never saw Zoolander, it's a movie, hilarious movie with Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson. And Ben Stiller would give this model face where he does the duck lips and try to give it wasn't really sexy eyes, but he tried to give some type of eyes. And that's what it reminded me of when Mace did his little model face. Also, along with something that happened with SmackDown, according to New York Post, Pat McAfee is in talks with Amazon for a role with Thursday Night Football. And there's been discussions of putting his Pat McAfee show on Prime Video. And I say, yes, please put Pat McAfee on Thursday Night Football. I would love to hear more commentary from him. I mean, I watch Thursday Night Football anyway, but it'd definitely be a hell of a lot more enjoyable with Pat McAfee on there. Speaking of football, Titus O'Neil and The Miz will be representing their hometown teams to announce selections for the NFL draft this week. Of course, Titus O'Neil will be announcing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and The Miz, of course, will be for the Cleveland Browns. I think that will more likely happen over the weekend when they go through, maybe on Friday when they announce the second round. I think the draft is on Thursday. When they announce the second round, normally they have a lot of former football players and fans and celebrities and stuff like that to introduce the draft. So I can't wait to see it. I love the draft. I wish I was able to go to the draft again. They had the draft in Philly a while ago, and that was really fun to go to. And then also, Tony Khan had made an announcement of the actual name of the video game for AEW, which is called AEW Fight Forever. Apparently, he came out to the Pittsburgh crowd and he recorded them as part of the video game. He had I think him and Justin Roberts had led the crowd into various chants and stuff like that will be recorded for the video game. I'm excited. Can't wait to see what this video game is going to be like. I keep the same energy for this video game like I do with a lot of video games. It's not going to be a day one for me. I'm going to see what everyone says, make sure to get out all the kinks, stuff like that, and catch that bad boy when it's on sale like I do everything else. So, but I am excited that we're getting another, wrestling video game. The biggest thing that I'm hoping for is that they're not rushing it. Allegedly, there may be a release date of September, but I don't know. I'm just hoping that they're not rushing things. Also, there's been a lot of talk on the Twitter and all, in forums and stuff like that. People are upset that Jeff Hardy was on Dark. Even Booker T had talked about it as well. And so I don't know why people get so held up in arms. Like people are not understanding exactly what AEW Dark and Elevation is. Like it really isn't the same as Main Event. It really isn't. I always say that Dark and Elevation is more for the enhancement talent. It feels like it's more of a tryouts for them, and also to add more wins to wrestlers without sacrificing someone else. So, like the Varsity Blondes, they racked up a bunch of wins on Dark and Elevation, thus giving them a chance to go for the title at certain points. Plus, on top of that, I feel as though it's kind of like a break for wrestlers who are not on the card, because Dark and Elevation sometimes is recorded before Dynamite. Before Dynamite, and if Rampage is live, is before Rampage as well. And then there's times where they actually film at the Universal Studios lot down in Florida. In order to really sell tickets for that, you have to have at least one big name. So it's not that people, it's not that, they're being, it's not a demotion. It really isn't. It's more for, like I said, it's a big tryout for enhancement talent. You can go down there and wrestle, people who are breaking into the business, try out new moves and stuff like that. Basically more of like a practice. I guess you could say like not really preseason if you think about it with football, but basically the records count, but there's no harm to the person who's taking the loss. We've seen Sky Blue had, gotten a contract off of being on Dark and Dynamite and getting the reception that she did with the Chicago crowd. This past week, we saw some other women who were wrestling for the Owens tournament who actually appeared on Dark and Dynamite as well. Truthfully, with those matches too, there's a little bit more offense from the enhancement talent than it would be if it was a squash match on Rampage or Dynamite. We're seeing that happen with Vera, for him to get some wins and stuff like that. They're having him squash people, whereas though on Dynamite and on Dynamite Elevation, the enhancement talent is getting a little bit of offense in. Like, it's an actual match that you're watching. And can you imagine? I mean, we're going to be seeing those people who are on Dark and Elevation in a couple of years and stuff. And we're going to be sitting here like, oh, yeah, they were on Dark and Elevation at a certain point. And can you imagine if you are the person, you get a chance to be on Dark and Elevation and you get to wrestle Adam Cole or Jeff Hardy and stuff like that? What you can sit there and say when you go to try to wrestle at different indie shows, you're going to put on your resume, I wrestled Adam Cole, for 6 minutes on I mean, it's a YouTube show still, but still, it's the exposure. So I don't feel any type of way of, Jeff Hardy's on there. They put everyone on there. Adam Page was on there at one point. They put John Moxley down there. I mean, pretty much everyone has gone down there to wrestle at a certain point. The Young Bucks was on there at a certain point as well. So, I don't really see it as a demotion or anything like that. I just see it as, at least it gets talked about on Rampage and Dynamite. They show the results of Dark and Elevation during the show. You don't hear anything about main event. You know what it really reminds me of? Back in the day, there was a show called WWF Superstars. It used to be like the main stage show before Raw came along, but once Raw had started, WWE Superstars was, I believe it came on Sundays, where it was kind of similar to it. It was, big names that was on there. There was interviews and stuff like that. You don't really get interviews on Dark and Elevation, but it was still like big names going on there to kind of like wrestle enhancement talent and stuff like that. Or you could even say maybe Sunday Night Heat. I mean, it's not on national TV, but it's on YouTube. So that's how I feel. I feel like it's more like WWF Superstars. It's probably on Peacock. You can just, go on there and check it out, or the WWE Network. Go in there and check out. I think it used to be. I think even I think even Livewire, whatever it was, had similar stuff too. I mean, they mainly talked about. They mainly interviewed people and took phone calls, stuff like that. But they also showed a few matches as well, few dark matches that has happened. So it's like, it's not really a demotion. It really isn't. It's just giving enhancement talent a chance to, put themselves out there in front of a big audience, especially when Dark and Elevation is recorded live in front of one of those crowds. And also to give, people who aren't appearing on Rampage and Dynamite that week to kind of get a chance to, pretty much wrestle. So no, it's not a demotion. So people need to just really calm down with all that. So going into AEW, the biggest news that we have heard, that Tony Khan had an announcement once again. Tony Khan with these announcements, it's like, I get it, you want to drum up the rating viewership and stuff like that, but it feels like every 2-3 weeks there is an announcement. But the announcement was that AEW is teaming up with New Japan to put on an event called Forbidden Door on June 26th on pay-per-views. I'm excited for it. I know that there's some people that's like, this is serving, it is serving their core audience. This is for the people who kind of know what's going on. But one thing that I get a bit disappointed about with AEW is that they don't explain things. So, for example, there was a match on Rampage of Adam Cole versus Tomohiro Ishii, and people popped for it, and I was like, I don't know who that is. And they talked about it a bit on Rampage, but I would love for them to do, you could easily just do a video package or something like that. Just for me to say, oh shit, yeah, wow, that's really like, yeah, that's going to be a good match type of situation. So I have homework to do. If you don't know, I've been in the WWE bubble for a very, very long time. During the Monday Night Wars, like I knew of things with WCW and ECW, but I was a WWE fanatic. Like I wasn't as bad as a lot of WWE fanatics are today. Like I don't do death threats and stuff like that, but WWE could do no wrong in my eyes. And so I missed out on a lot. And I was that way until probably like maybe, I don't know, 2015, I think, where I started to dabble into, different indie shows, and I went to different indie shows, stuff like that. And that's when I found out about the Young Bucks and stuff like that. Um, and so with AEW, definitely introduced me to a lot of people who I normally wouldn't see on a weekly basis because, I mainly watch WWE because WWE, their programming can like consume your whole week. So I have homework to do. I'll be checking out different New Japan matches and stuff like that to kind of get to know, some of the wrestlers that may be on there. But there are some people in New Japan that I already know about. First of all, Kenta really, really, really wants to go against CM Punk at Forbidden Door. Of course, this is the match that, people have always talked about, the GTS versus GTS. Who does it better? Who's going to win here? The only thing is though, and something that I hope doesn't happen is whenever AEW teams up with another company, most of the events AEW wrestlers win. So, with this matchup between Kenta and CM Punk, it's like you don't want Kenta to lose, but on top of that, you don't want CM Punk to lose either. So I'm hoping with a lot of these matchups that, at least some of the New Japan people, wrestlers win here. But I am looking forward to this event in June. Hook spoke. We had Hook on Dynamite, and Danhausen came out and challenged Hook as well. There was a segment on Rampage where Hook was about to get interviewed. Danhausen was crunching up some chips on the floor, and Hook, pushed him up against the wall and said, "You wanted my attention? You got it." And I was pleasantly surprised at Hook's voice. It's a very smooth, nice voice. I was slightly, a little I don't know, I was a little bit bothered the fact that he didn't speak because I was like, maybe the voice doesn't match him or something. Like maybe his voice is higher pitched than Brock Lesnar or something. Or, we're gonna be like sitting there, posting the memes of, the memes of people sitting there cracking up or looking shocked and stuff like that because the voice doesn't match. I would have to say though, the voice, it kind of he kind of gives me vibes of the love interest from a Disney show. Take that however you want to take it, whether that's good or bad. But yeah, that's what he gives me those vibes for. Um, am I excited for this match? I'm not jumping for joy on it. I never seen Danhausen wrestle, so I don't know if his wrestling skills was like on par with Hook or something like that. If we're looking at like Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar type of situation here. But I figure it's going to be entertaining. I mean, I find Danhausen entertaining, but I don't know how that would be in the ring. Um, Also we had Dustin Rhodes versus CM Punk, which was a good match. It was a very good like it was a very standard wrestling match to me. It was an old school type of wrestling match. I'm not like, oh snap. I figured CM Punk would win, of course. But it seemed like, Dustin is slowly doing his goodbye tour, maybe, because he did mention that of all the people he wanted to wrestle, he always wanted to wrestle CM Punk. So I was pretty happy for him as well. We also had some more qualifiers for the Owen Hart tournament. Jungle Boy versus Kyle O'Reilly. And we also had Danielle Camella, who was actually in NXT as Vanessa Bourne, going against Dr. Britt Baker. It took place in Pittsburgh, so of course, everybody, the mama and the grandmama and the uncle and their pet Sally was behind for Britt Baker, who came out with Najee Harris and Pat, I forgot the last name, from the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I was like, hey, I know those people. And of course, everyone had the terrible towel. She brought out the glove, the Pittsburgh Steeler glove and stuff like that. Geez. They love her in fucking Pittsburgh. I'm happy for her. I'm happy for the city. It's, definitely giving like Chicago vibes with CM Punk type of situation. But yeah, it is what it is. She's in it. And, we'll see who she'll be going against in the first round. They already announced that it's going to be Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter in the first round, which it's a match I'm somewhat looking forward to. I'm interested to see how these two will fare in the ring. But I want to see what the whole card looks like from the get-go. Also, we had the Coffin Match, Darby Allin versus Andre El Idol. So pretty funny that, Darby Allin was pretty much getting jumped and fucking Sting was in the audience the whole time because he wanted, the spot where he reveals himself as a fan in the crowd. Because I was a little confused because he was getting beat up and I was like, okay, where's Sting with the bat? Where's the Hardy Boys? But, everybody was like, yeah, he got it. He got it. Can someone please tell Sting that he is fucking 60 years old? Like, can he just save it for the rest of us? I can't run around the block right now, and this mofo is jumping off of the fucking, he's jumping from, from the crowd onto below, doing splash out of the stands and stuff like that, and just really showing us young bulls that, we ain't shit, and we need to get up and exercise. That now you want to talk about eat your vitamins and say your prayers. That's motherfucking Sting. I don't see fucking Hulk Hogan coming around here jumping, doing splash from the stands and stuff like that. I see Sting doing that. So if I'm going to follow anyone's directions of eating their vitamins and say their prayers, it's going to be his ass. Because I would like to know, I want Sting to drop the exercise regimen right now. What the hell do you eat? What have you been doing these past 30 years to get where you're getting? Because, in 30 years, I would like to be that way. If I would like to climb up a couple of steps, jump down and, not feel like I hurt a hip. Like it right now, like I can't sleep certain ways now because my back is going to hurt. Okay, that's what happens when you enter into 30s. You have to navigate life carefully now. Normally I can go up and down steps, without a care in the world. Now I'm holding on to the railing because, fucking health insurance, okay? It's a little expensive. But now I can't sleep, whatever way I want. I can't sit there and just, bend down and pick up whatever without a care in the world. No, I have to be a little more careful because then the back is going to tell me that, hey, what the fuck are you doing in a couple of hours? So I need Sting to drop the book, okay? I need YouTube videos. I need workout DVDs of what the hell he's doing right now to where as though, he's not saying ow like I'm saying ow. You know what I mean? I stand and do dishes and because the way my floor is set up in the kitchen, how, when you stand in one spot in the kitchen for so long, the floor kind of dips a little bit, I need Sting to really drop drop the thing, okay? He needs to drop the thing, and I need to know what the hell is going on here. Cause what the hell? Sting needs to really sit down and not put all of us to fucking shame. But that's my rant for the week for AEW. So going into Rampage, we had Jade Cargill going against Marina Shafir. This was of course Jade was going to win. She is now Miss 30-0. I was pleasantly surprised with Marina Shafir. Like, I really didn't expect this match to be, fine. It was a fine match. It was really a lot better of a match with Marina Shafir than it was for when I previously been watching her. So kudos to that. I'm just hoping, like, what they do with Jade Cargill that they do with all the other female wrestlers in that division, because things are starting to thin out. I don't know who is going to end up taking the title off of Jade Cargill. Like, I feel like we're running into the same situation with Roman Reigns. Like, you're building this person up so high. It's like, when she loses the title, it's either going to be like a fucking roll up or something like that, to where as though it's that shock value, like the breaking the streak or something, or she's going to lose to someone and it's not going to be believable. So I'm hoping that, whoever they feel like she should lose the title to, that they definitely need to start building this person up like ASAP. Like, I need Daniel Bryan to start putting on clinics with some people, because they, like I always say, I feel like the talent is there. The talent is there. Like, in a couple of years, this will be a really good women's division. It's just not there right now, and it needs to get there because we're on national TV. We can't. This isn't NXT where you have the it's developmental, and you have you're able to build up women over time. No, they need to do it here and now. So also there was a bunch of interviews and stuff like that as well. Lance Archer is now going after Wardlow, so we have that match coming up as well. This week's Dynamite is gonna be fucking crazy. Like, one of the biggest reasons I want to go to AEW Dynamite is because for the first time ever, we're getting, for the Owens qualifying match, we're getting Dax versus Cash of FTR going against each other. And I like the fact that they're saying, hey, we're going to wrestle each other. We're doing this for Owen. We're still going to be cool after this, stuff like that. It's not like, oh my gosh, are they going to break up or anything like that? They're like, no, we're not going to break up. We're going to competitively, wrestle each other, and may the best person win. And there's not going to be any hard feelings, which I'm all fine with that. We also going to have Serena D versus Hikaru Shida in a Philly street fight match. Don't ask me what the hell that is. I mean, Philly street fights happen all the time in Philly. It varies depending on who is participating and where it's located. There may be some bats. There may be some, I highly doubt it's going to be a gun involved, because that's how, Philly rules. Philly is fucking wild west. We're damn near we're coming up on Gotham, the city of Gotham type of vibes. Only difference is we don't have any, really crazy motherfuckers. Like, we don't have a Joker or a Riddler or anything like that. And then we don't have a Batman. But we're damn near close to it. Like, I will not be surprised if, the Penguin shows up on Broad Street in a few days. I'm not going to be surprised if that happens. But yeah, we got that as well. We got Wardlow versus Lance Archer. And there's another match that they had announced, but I completely forgot what it was. But I am looking forward to Dynamite this week. So going over to WWE's side. So tonight we have the arm wrestling match between Omos and Bobby Lashley, which, arm wrestling match really doesn't do anything for me. Like, this doesn't really show, like, we already know what's going to happen. Bobby Lashley's going to win, or he's going to be close to winning, and then he's going to get attacked by Omos. This it feels like this feud feels more of MVP versus Bobby Lashley versus Omos versus Bobby Lashley. So, I feel bad for Omos because it feels like, he's kind of playing third wheel to this type of situation. But yeah, I'm not that at all excited about it. We're slowly setting up for WrestleMania Backlash. We have Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins going against each other again. Cody Rhodes accepted the challenge by Seth Rollins to go against each other. And Seth Rollins then told him that, he was going to name a person of his choosing to go against Cody Rhodes in the main event, which ended up being Kevin Owens. And then Cody Rhodes had defeated Kevin Owens via count out. So looks like we have Rollins and Owens kind of breaking up, it seems like here. And Cody Rhodes once again getting a win. The entrance still, with the pyro and everything, we're still keeping it going. Him getting that entrance two times a week. That pyro guy probably hates his fucking guts. Because it's not like you you just press the button when the music drops, stuff like that. Like, he has to pay attention to certain spots like 2-3 times with the music or with Cody's movements to match it up. We also had the segment with Ezekiel, who took the lie detector test. I was sports entertained by this. First of all, like I said, Ezekiel works because who he's working with. Kevin Owens is good wherever he does. I'm digging Chad Gable with the thank you. Like, he's really given me like Kurt Angle vibes. Like Kurt Angle when he had the little hat and stuff like that, and all when it was him and Stone Cold. Like, he's giving me those vibes. And it's fun. And like I said, would I love to see Kurt Angle, wrestle and stuff like that, and bring back the days of American Alpha. Yes, I would, but like I said, WWE isn't really about like hardcore wrestling, like you would love for it to be like with the Black and Gold NXT. But as far as with Chad Gable, I've been enjoying it. So I enjoyed the segment with them. Ezekiel passed the lie detector test, proving that he is not Elias. That is the younger brother of Elias. His name is Ezekiel. And we also had Veer, who is now getting these squash matches. I didn't know the name of his finisher was the cervical clutch. I get, cervical up, the upper body. But when you hear cervical, you don't immediately think of the upper body. So I thought that was a pretty interesting word to put on, a pretty interesting finisher name. I feel as though, of all the times WWE love to change names and stuff like that, just run the name by, just shout it out loud a couple of times, Like, for all you parents out there, when you sat there and you had to decide a name for the baby, like, how you like shout it out a few times to see like if it really, like, can you really see yourself saying that, for a long time? I mean, I feel as though WWE needs to adopt that. Like, just shout out cervical clutch. Like, after a while, you go like, you know what? It doesn't really sound good the third time that I said it. Maybe we should change it up. Because when you think cervical, I think cervical cancer, and that's not really a really great thing to think about. But if they want to stick with it, there's not really much that I can do about it, is there? But yeah, very weird name for him. I really think they could have came up with something else for Veer, but and also Vera has been doing very well. Apparently, he drew big numbers in India the night he debuted. Also, it was reported that the ratings was well up for in India for WrestleMania as well, but apparently his debut really did big numbers in India, so I'm happy for him. We also had, it was a lot that happened at Raw. Raw wasn't really that bad, truthfully. It really wasn't that bad of a show. It was a lot of things that happened. We had the commitment ceremony. Of course, R-Truth was the star of that one. There's really, R-Truth can really make, really can make any segment, funny and enjoyable. There was a little part where they kind of teased Tamina and Dana Brooke at a certain point, and the crowd, went crazy and stuff like that. I thought it was a pretty, nice touch that Sasha and Naomi was there for Tamina, the reunion of Team Bad. If you're going to get married, you're going to invite your good friends. I don't know who the hell was all the other people that was there, especially the woman with the really bad wig. I mean, it was very noticeable. Bless her heart, but that bad boy was very noticeable. But of course, once the commitment ceremony was over, we had everybody pinning everybody, and Dana Brooke getting her title back. It is what it is. The 24/7 title has a storyline along with it. I can't be that mad about it, but and then I saw Nikki ASH was there, and I was like, damn, yo, they got Nikki Ash is now going after the 24/7 title. Like, I wish like it was, I wish it didn't feel like that feels like a demotion, of someone going after the 24/7 title, because all you're doing is just running. You are hitting marathon. You're doing marathons right now because you're running after the title, and you don't even really win it. You may win it for like maybe a segment or two, and then you lose it right back again. But yeah, now she is going after the title. She was just standing there in her superhero outfit, for the commitment ceremony. It was a very long segment. It was a lot longer than I thought it would be. But yeah, it was fine. It was fine for me. We also had the United States Championship change hands. Theory is now champion. He is now the United States champion, which I'm not really surprised about. They weren't really doing much with Finn Balor, and now with Theory being teamed up with Vince McMahon and having, definitely one of the best sells I ever seen of the Stone Cold Stunner, I'm not surprised that he won the title. It seems like I don't know where we're gonna go with Theory. I don't know if he's going after John Cena, because he started talking shit about John Cena to this kid who was wearing John Cena shirt and hat, and John Cena said something on Twitter. It was something, inspirational, stuff like that. So who knows? That may be coming down the line. There's the rumor that, he is on call for WWE, of course. So we may see him down the road, maybe for SummerSlam, to go toe to toe against Theory. We'll see. We also had Edge and Damian Priest now. I'm really digging this, faction with Edge and Damian Priest. People keep making the comparisons between House of Black, but people forget there was a Ministry of Darkness and the Brood, both of which the Edge was part of. So if anything, Edge is, really copying off of The Undertaker and Gangrel. Definitely The Undertaker, because when AJ Styles was being interviewed, the lights went out, and then Edge and Damian Priest appeared with purple lights. So I'm like, okay, well, the spirit of The Undertaker apparently passed to you once he retired. But I'm digging it. I'm really digging it. I don't know their name yet, but I'm really digging this feud. Allegedly, Rhea Ripley maybe joining them, possibly Tommaso Ciampa, but I'm all for it. Let them, I think I know they're going against AJ Styles. I think they may be going against Finn Balor as well, and I hope they like beat up Finn Balor and bring out the Demon or something like that, and he could be not really like their dog, but their attack dog, like whoever they want to, go out and attack, they send him out in his demon stuff, in his demon get up. Somebody, whoever, if there's a WWE insider that's listening to this podcast, write that down, please. You know, I would like to have the credit for it, but I know you're not going to give me the credit for it, but please write that down. We also have the, title unifications and stuff like that. So we got RK Bro and the Usos going against each other. We also have the Street Profits getting into the mix. I think the Street Profits are turning heel or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but if that's what they're going to do, hey, I'm kind of for it. I'm interested to see how that will play out. I don't know. I feel like the Street Profits needs something new. That's all I'm going to say. I just feel like we need something new for the Street Profits. Speaking of, the tag team unification, we had Riddle versus Jey Uso on SmackDown. That was a really good match. That was a really good match. I'm not surprised it was a good match, but I really enjoyed it, and it gave it enough time and stuff like that. There wasn't a bunch of craziness or anything that was going on, but yeah, that was a really good one. And then Riddle, of course, showing off that he could do RKOs as well. That was cool. We also had Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair signing contracts for I Quit match. God bless Drew Gulak, somebody has to make somebody look good. And, as much as I would love to see Drew Gulak wrestle, if that's what he has to do, and he's doing it up to the fullest. I hope he's actually like training Ronda Rousey or something. She really needs a manager. Her mic skills are like, geez, I feel like I'm watching a kid in a first day in drama class reading straight from the script. It's no good at all. But I'm hoping that Drew Gulak or somebody is helping her train. I know they're showing Shayna Baszler has been training her, but she needs help. She needs more help, okay? But yeah, Ronda Rousey has signed the contract in this segment while putting the armbar on Drew Gulak, which, I can nitpick on it because I'm like, Drew Gulak couldn't get out the armbar even though he's a submission specialist. But I've learned, you really can't put logic to some of these things. You really can't. You'll get yourself upset if you start putting logic to some of these things. We also had Ricochet versus Butch. And Xavier Woods won with his finisher called the Backwoods, which is a small package. I think I mentioned this before. If you listen to the New Day podcast, Xavier Woods actually talked about doing this. He talked about like pretty much trolling to have a finisher being the small package. And so I'm like, I slightly popped when I found out that he actually did it. So afterwards, Butch went crazy and he ran off into the crowd. And Michael Cole said he was acting like a child. I forgot the exact words he said, but he said he was acting like a child. And I was like, damn, that's the end of that. That's like, I know people's like, oh, the name, don't worry about the name and stuff like that. But, it's not good that he's acting like a little chihuahua, and, they're saying he's acting like a child and stuff like that. We also had another Lacey Evans package where she talked more about, this time, she talked more about her father's addictions and stuff like that. I listened to a part of it. Like I get the story and stuff like that. Like I said, I feel as though there's another way to do this, of having someone like cry every single week and make you feel like absolutely horrible to listen to her upbringing and stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like there's a different way to do it. And like I said, I'm interested to see how this translates to the ring. If she going to be like this underdog, or is she's gonna be like John Cena? I can do it because of what I went through type of situation. But I'm not sure. But like I said, I'm interested to see what the theme and all this other stuff is going to look like. But I don't know. I don't know about these packages of her talking about her struggles growing up. We also had Gunther. I know you guys heard of the song where we like Lady in Red. Every time I see Gunther, I think Gunther and Red because he is wearing that red, yo. He also had a match as well. It was pretty much a squash match, you know. It is what it is. I do miss the Imperium music, and I mean I like that they still have a bit of the entrance from Imperium, but I really miss that Imperium music. Yo, some of these people have really good entrance musics, and I'm not understanding why we changed it. They were straight bangers, you know. But we had changed it up. We also had Sasha Banks and Naomi, of course, are tag team champions. They're being confronted by Natalya and Shayna Baszler. Okay, you know, all right, it is what it is. Um, Also, something I completely forgot about with Jay versus Riddle. I was upset with the finish that it was a simple roll up. Like we couldn't get an actual like finish with a finisher or something like that. Like I'll even take an RKO out of nowhere or something, you know, for a win. But having the roll up, I don't know, it really deflated the match at the end. Um, and I also appreciated that they did a vignette for Raquel Rodriguez to kind of let the casual fans know who the hell she is instead of this smiling girl or something like that. At least show, like, yeah, she can kick ass. So I was fine with that. I appreciate it. I'm still like Raquel Rodriguez. I like still stutter a bit there because I want to say Gonzalez because that's a lot easier to say versus Raquel Rodriguez. So, you know, it is what it is. It really is. Um, but yeah, it's been a very interesting week in wrestling. I can't wait to see Dax versus Cash this week. Will I be at AEW Philly? Who knows? I will I will let you guys know if I actually go. But yeah, tickets are a bit pricey this time around. So I'm waiting for day of to see them ticket prices drop. Um, but go Sixers, go Phillies. Um, I don't even know what the score is right now for the Sixers. I'm hoping that they win the game. Um, but yeah, and I hope if your team is in the playoffs, you know, I hope they're successful unless you're a Toronto Raptor fan, which in case you know, of course, I hope your team loses horribly. But that's it for the Wrestlebread podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Let me give a couple of shout outs. Shout out to Julian Rob Bass from Wrestling Court Podcast and AlternativeMinds.com. Keita and Jay from the Keita and Jay Show. Chris from We Talk Next podcast, which is featured on the Keita and Jay Show. Nando and Larry from Half K Podcast. Devin Hafiz from Clark Street Wrestling. And also shout out to Straight Talk Wrestling, Circle Debate, Top Rope Wrestling, Talk, and Dirty Heels as well. Coming up next week, I will be talking more about, you know, what happened with AEW Philly and the as we keep getting closer to WrestleMania Backlash as well. We had Randy Orton's celebration of 20 years as well. And we're gonna see what's gonna happen with these tag team titles. Who is going to walk away with, you know, the unified tag team championship? Will it be the Usos or will it be RK Bro? Be sure to follow me on Twitter at JDC137. That's JAYDEE, the letter C137. You can also follow the podcast at Wrestlebread. Be sure to follow the links on the profile for the Instagrams, the Facebook, the YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe to that as well. And to the TikTok. I may be going back on Twitch. I had a lot of fun when I was doing Twitch, and I mainly want to do Twitch again to kind of to connect with people. And I'm one of those gamers that, stop and start a lot. And so when I was doing Twitch, it really kept me to play a game all the way through to the end. So keep a lookout for that. I'm thinking of maybe Tuesdays and Thursdays of streaming in the early evenings on Eastern Standard Time. But be sure to follow me on Twitch or on any of the social networks to keep an ear out. Leave a review. Let me know your thoughts. How do you feel about AEW and the New Japan pay-per-view? How do you feel about Austin Theory? Well, I keep saying Austin Theory, but his name is actually Theory. A Theory now holding the title. How do you feel about this faction with Edge and Damian Priest? I love it. Like, give me more of that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and let me know what you are feeling. And until next time, guys, peace.